At 09:58 hours, a Marine Corps AH-1Z Viper attack helicopter was screaming south over the Caribbean at 150 knots toward a cartel boat that had no idea it was about to become an artificial reef. The Viper, basically a flying arsenal with anger management issues, had launched from the USS Iwo Jima 15 minutes earlier. In exactly 12 minutes, this go-fast boat would discover why challenging the U.S. military is like trying to outrun your problems when Usain Bolt is chasing you. The pilot's eyes were locked on the target data streaming across his top owl display. Range 18 nautical miles. Closure rate 195 knots. Time to weapons release 7 minutes. The boat below had no idea that democracy was approaching from the north at 150 knots, guided by satellites, tracked by aircraft, and about to be delivered by a Marine who hadn't missed a target since flight school. Through the FLIR display, he could already see the heat plume from the boat's engines. 2 white-hot dots against the cooler blue of the Caribbean, racing north like they actually had a chance. The target was being tracked by a P-8 Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft cruising at 20,000 feet. The P-8 is what happens when Boeing takes a 737 and instead of adding more seats for passengers, they stuff it with $400 million worth of sensors. Its AN/APY-10 radar had picked up the classic smuggler signature. Twin engines, 45 knots, heading north from Venezuela on what smugglers call the Caribbean Express, which is like I-95 for bad guys. The P-8 even dropped sono buoys to listen to the engine noise. 2 Mercury 300 horsepower outboards, running slightly out of sync, because apparently maintenance wasn't in the cartel's budget this quarter. Inside the Viper's cockpit, the pilot was programming target coordinates into the TSS mounted on his top owl helmet display. The TSS, Target Sight System, is basically Iron Man's helmet, but for helicopters. This $200,000 piece of headgear weighs 4.6 pounds and projects all of the targeting data directly onto the pilot's visor, letting him look at something and designate it for destruction just by turning his head. The FLIR pod slaved to the helmet meant wherever the pilot looked, the infrared camera followed with resolution so good it could spot a candle from 5 kilometers away. The Viper itself was loaded for bear. 8 AGM-114R Hellfire missiles hung from its stub wings, 4 on each side. The Romeo variant was basically chosen for this mission because of its multi-purpose warhead. It doesn't need to know what kind of target it's hitting. It just needs to delete it. Each missile weighs 108 pounds, measures 64 inches long, and costs $150,000. That's a Harvard education being delivered at Mach 1.3 to someone who definitely didn't apply. The pilot had already set the laser PRF code to 1113,